Hello and welcome to Module 2, where we are going to explore routes to commercialization for your climate innovations. At its core, commercialization is about turning ideas into impact, finding pathways to get your solution into the hands of those who need it. In a way that is both sustainable and scalable. A key starting point is understanding the intellectual property right, or IP. IP therefore refers to the creations of your mind, inventions, designs, brand names, even software code, and the legal rights that protect them. Protecting IP matters because it can safeguard your competitive advantage, create licensing opportunities, and increase investor confidence. But protection is just one piece. You also need to decide how you will bring your innovation to market. That might be through direct sales, partnerships, licensing, franchising, or even open source models. Throughout this module, we will connect this concept with your work so you can choose the route that aligns with your mission, resources, and the type of impact you want to achieve. Before you choose a commercialization route, it is essential to understand the terminology. IP, as we have said, covers creations of the mind. Intellectual property rights, or IPR, are the legal protections that gives you exclusive rights to use, sell, or license those creations. In the EU context, IPR can include patents, trademarks, design rights, and copyright. And these protections are enforceable within specified jurisdiction. Exploitation in the EU means making use of results commercially or otherwise to generate impact. This could involve bringing a product to market, licensing your technology, integrating it into services, or using it to inform policy or practice. Exploitation does not always mean selling something. It is about ensuring that your innovation does not sit on a shelf once the project ends. In this module, we will look at how different exploitation routes work in practice and what factors should guide your choice. Overview of the MAIA Business Development Program and Module 2 objectives. This program is designed to strengthen the skills and confidence of innovation working on Horizon-funded climate projects. Many of you have developed brilliant solutions, but to achieve real-world impact, those solutions need a pathway to market or adoption. The Business Development Program focuses on equipping you with the practical tools and strategies to make that happen. Across 5 modules, we will look at how different business plans identify funding opportunities, and create compelling investment pitches. Our aim is to help you exploit, scale, or sustain your climate innovations so they can deliver long-term benefits. In Module 2, our focus narrows to the different routes you can take to commercialize your idea. We will explore intellectual property, licensing, and other business models that can help you generate revenue or maximize impact. By the end of this session, you should have a clearer sense of which pathway fits your mission, your available resources, and the market you are targeting. This foundation will support your decision making as you move towards implementation. What is intellectual property? Intellectual property, or IP, is a term you will hear a lot when we talk about commercialization. Simply put, IP is about protecting the unique creations of your mind. This include inventions, designs, artistic works, symbols, brand names, or even distinctive product packaging, if it's original and can be clearly defined. There's often a legal framework to protect it. Why does this matter? Protecting your IP ensures that you or your organization are the ones who benefit from the work you have put into creating something new. Without protection, there's a risk that others could copy or exploit your ideas without permission, potentially undermining your ability to scale or generate revenue. IP protection always builds value in your organization. It can also increase investor confidence, open licensing opportunities, and strengthen your competitive advantage. Throughout this module, we will explore how IP works in practice, the different types of rights available, and how this can be used strategically as part of your chosen route to market. Understanding IP is the first step in deciding how to position your innovation for long-term impact and success. What is commercialization? Commercialization is all about moving from concept to reality, taking an idea you have developed and making it available in a form that customers or end users can access, adopt, and benefit from. It is not just about selling a product, it is about creating a sustainable way for your innovation to exist in the world and deliver value. For many nature-based enterprises, this involves navigating a delicate balance, generating enough financial return to sustain operations, while also achieving environmental and social impact goals. In practice, commercialization can take many forms: direct sales, partnerships, licensing agreements, or service delivery models. Whatever the route, one consistent factor is the role of intellectual property. Smart IP management can protect your unique offering, give you leverage in negotiations, attract investment, and open doors to strategic partnerships. In this module, we will connect the dots between IP and commercialization, showing how the two can work hand in hand to maximize both your reach and your impact. By the end, you will be better equipped to choose a pathway that aligns with your mission and growth ambitions. In this next section, we are going to build on what we've just covered about intellectual property and look more closely at how these rights are defined, protected, and used in practice. As we have now defined IP, so now let's look at how it is protected in the European Union. Intellectual property rights, or IPRs, are the legal tools that safeguard your creations. Some rights apply automatically. For example, copyrights protect written reports, images, or software the moment they are created. Others require formal registration, such as patents for technical inventions, trademarks for brand identity, and registered design rights for products' unique appearance. Trade secrets protect confidential business know-how, but depend on active measures to keep the information secure. In the EU, protection can be national, regional, such as an EU trademark or community design, or international if you file under specific treaties. Choosing the right mix depends on your innovation type, budget, and commercialization strategy. For nature-based enterprises, it is worth remembering that IPRs don't just apply to high-tech products. Branding, training materials, and even process designs can be valuable assets worth protecting. Now that we have covered the main focus of IPR in the EU, let's look at how they translate into action through exploitation. In the EU framework, exploitation means putting your innovation to work so it delivers value and impact, either commercially or non-commercially. This could mean licensing or selling your intellectual property rights, developing and marketing products or services based on your innovation, or using your protected IP as a lever to secure partnerships, funding, or new market access. For nature-based enterprises, exploitation can take forms that are not always traditional product sales. You might license your methodology to local delivery partners, use social franchising to replicate a restoration or community engagement model, or form collaborative agreements with municipalities or NGOs to scale nature-based solutions. The goal is to ensure your results do not remain unused once a project ends. By aligning your exploitation routes with your mission and your IPR strategy, you can maximize both the reach and the integrity of your innovation. To make this more concrete, here's a quick guide showing how different types of intellectual property rights might apply in a nature-based enterprise or a climate innovation context, and the typical ways you might exploit them. For example, a biodiversity monitoring sensor could be patented, and you might license that technology to environmental agencies or sell the product directly. An eco-label for sustainable timber could be protected with a trademark and licensed to certified producers. Copyrights can apply to materials like climate adaptation toolkits. These could be sold as publications, offered as online courses, or delivered through in-person training. A design right might apply to a physical product, like a modular rainwater harvesting system, which could be manufactured in-house or licensed to builders. And trade secrets might cover something like a unique soil restoration method, which you would share only with trusted partners under confidentiality agreements. The key takeaway here is to match your IP type to an exploitation route that makes sense for your mission, resources, and desired level of control. And always check your funding agreements and collaboration contracts, because IP ownership is not always as clear-cut as you might think. Earlier, we defined commercialization models. The strategic approach you use to bring your innovation to market and generate value from it. Three of the most common approaches for MBEs and climate innovators are licensing, franchising, and open source. There are, of course, other commercialization approaches you can explore that are perhaps less applicable to early stage or impact focused organizations in this space. Licensing means granting someone else the right to use your intellectual property. That might be technology, a process, or a brand in exchange for fees or royalties. Franchising is different. It is about replicating your entire business model, with franchises operating under your brand and systems. Open source is about sharing your intellectual property freely for others to use, adapt, and improve, often with the goal of accelerating or collective innovation. The choice of model has big implications for how much control you retain, how quickly you can scale, what resources you will need, and how your impact is delivered. Each model comes with trade-offs. Licensing allows you to scale without heavy investment and can generate recurring revenue through royalties. But you may lose some control over how your innovation is implemented. So monitoring quality is key. Franchising gives you more control over the brand and processes and can be a powerful way to replicate a proven model, but it requires significant upfront work, legal agreements, training materials, and ongoing partner support. Open source can lead to rapid adoption and community contribution, which is especially useful for mission-driven innovation. But because it is freely available, there is no built-in revenue stream, and there is a risk your work could be used in ways that do not align with your mission unless you set clear guidelines. Sometimes a hybrid approach works best. For example, open sourcing non-core tools to encourage community uptake, while licensing proprietary technology for revenue. For climate innovations and nature-based enterprises, there are some specific factors to weigh when choosing a commercialization model. First, mission alignment is critical. The model you choose should protect and advance your environmental and social goals. This means avoiding partners or licenses whose practices could undermine your credibility or impact. Second, market context matters. Local regulations, cultural norms, and partner capacity will influence which models are viable. For example, franchising may be easier in markets with strong contract enforcement, while open source may be a better fit in resource-constrained contexts, where community adoption is key. Finally, think about your resource needs. Licensing requires strong IP. Choosing the right path. When it comes to choosing the right commercialization path, there is no single right answer. But there are a key factors you need to weigh. First, think about the type of innovation you have. Is it a physical product, a service, a process, or a combination? Is it based on tangible assets you can protect or intangible know-how? That's harder to lock down. Second, be clear on your impact goals. For many climate or nature-based enterprises, the challenge is balancing financial return with environmental and social outcomes. That often means deciding how much openness you are comfortable with versus how much exclusivity you need. Third, be realistic about your resources and capabilities. Do you have the legal, financial, and operational capacity to manage a licensing program, a franchise network, or a large open source community? And finally, your market context matters. The regulatory environment, partner capacity, and even cultural fit can make some models easier or harder to implement. Here's a simple decision framework you can apply to your own innovation. Step 1. Clarify your mission. Is your primary driver profit, impact, or a balance of both? Step 2. Map your assets. Identify what intellectual property, know-how, or brand elements you have to work with. Step 3. Match the model to your mission. That might mean licensing, franchising, open source, or a hybrid approach. Step 4. Test feasibility. Look at how legal, operational, and financial requirements and see if they are realistic for your organization right now. Step 5. Plan for scale. Think about how the model will grow without losing integrity or compromising your mission. And remember, you don't have to get it perfect from day one. A phased approach can work well. For example, you might start with a protective model while you build capacity, then move to a more open model as the market matures. Let's bring this to life with a few examples. Example 1. A nature-based enterprise develops a modular rainwater harvesting system. Their goal is to maximize local impact while retaining brand control. In that case, a social franchising model with strong training and oversight can work well. Example 2. An MBE creates an open source biodiversity monitoring tool. Their priority is rapid global uptake and community contribution. Here, an open source core platform combined with premium paid analytics creates both reach and revenue stream. Example 3. An MBA designs a patented coastal restoration structure. Their aim is to generate revenue for R&D and ensure installations meet strict environmental standards. Licensing is vetted marine engineering firms, allows them to maintain quality while scaling. This example shows there's no one size fits all. It is about matching the model to your mission, your assets, and your context. Now, it is your turn to map out your potential commercialization route using the business pathway worksheet. We will walk through this step by step. Step 1 is to identify your core assets. This could be patents, trademarks, copyrighted materials, design rights, trade secrets, or other unique capabilities your innovation relies on. Write this down clearly. They will form the foundation of your pathway. Step 2 is to review your options. Use the table in the worksheet to note the pros and cons of different models in your own context. Licensing, franchising, open source, hybrid, other. Be honest about what would work and what might be risky for you. Step 3 is to match your options to your mission. Select the model or models that aligns best with your impact goals, resources, and market context, and jot down why you think they are the best fit. Step 4 is to note your next steps. These include IP protection, partner research, seeking legal advice, or market testing. Step 5 encourages to think short-term versus long-term. Your commercialization routes may change as your organization grows or the market evolves. Capturing both timelines will help you plan for adaptation. When you are finished, you will have a visual map of your pathway that can revisit and refine as your business develops. As you move forward, the key is to be specific about the commercialization routes you are mapping. Don't just write sell the product or offer services. Name exactly what the product, service, or process is, so your plan is tangible and actionable. This makes it easier to access feasibility and identify the next steps you will need to take. If you are not certain about the best route, keep your options open at this stage. You might outline more than one possible pathway and refine your choice later as you gather more information or test the market. For example, you could explore both direct sales and the licensing model, then decide which aligns better with your capacity and impact goals. Also think about time frames. Your short-term routes might look different from your long-term plan. Perhaps starting with a partnership model to build credibility and market presence, then shifting to franchising or scaling direct delivery. Your output from this step will be a completed business pathway worksheet, which maps your potential commercialization route and gives you a clear foundation for the next stages of your business development journey. Next steps and further exploration. Before we wrap up Module 2, take a moment to reflect on the pathway you have mapped. Does it align with your mission, your resources, and the kind of impact you want to make? Are there any potential red flags or capability gaps you need to address before moving forward? Review your business pathway worksheet. Have you clearly identified your core assets, chosen a commercialization model, and captured next steps? This will be a key input for Module 3, where we will start building out your business plan. If you have uncertainties, that's fine. The key point of this exercise is to give you a starting point, not a final decision. You will have more chances to refine your pathway as you move through the next modules. Here are some practical steps you can take right away. First, validate your IP. Make sure you know who owns it, whether it is protected, and whether registration might be needed. Second, seek advice if you need it. Legal, commercialization, or industry-specific inputs can save time and prevent missteps. Third, think about potential partners. This might mean identifying possible licenses, franchises, or collaborators who could help you scale your model. Fourth, test your assumptions. If you can, run a small pilot and see how your chosen pathway works in practice. And finally, start thinking about what scaling would involve, what resources, systems, and capacity you would need to grow without losing quality or impact. If you want to go deeper on this topic, there are some excellent resources available. The EU Intellectual Property Office and the World Intellectual Property Organization both have SME-focused guidance on protecting and managing IP. The strategy guides on business model innovation are useful if you want to explore alternative pathways or hybrid approaches, and there are case studies of nature-based enterprises using licensing, franchising, and open source models that can give you inspiration and practical lessons. You might also want to attend webinars on IP management for sustainable businesses. Join peer networks like the Nature-Based Enterprise Platform, or explore open source licensing frameworks like Creative Commons or the GPL. The goal is to stay curious and keep building your understanding, because the better informed you are, the more confident you will be in choosing and implementing your pathway. In our next module, we will take the pathway you have identified today and start running a practical business plan. We will be introducing the Lean Business Model Canvas, which is a simple but powerful tool to help map your innovation and also deliver while also capturing value. You will learn how to link your vision with your operations and revenue streams, so you have a clear picture of how your business will work day to day. We will also start looking at cost structures and financial sustainability, making sure your model is not only mission driven but viable in the long term. Between now and then, keep your completed business pathway worksheet handy and note any questions or uncertainties you would like to bring into the planning stage. Thank you very much for your attention.